Remember, it is day 11 of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Attacks continue on the country as multiple cities, one by one, are witnessing a relentless attack by the Russian troops. Kharkiv, on top, continues to be one of the worst hit. Airstrikes have damaged several buildings in the city. Multiple buildings are on fire, as you can see in these visuals. The battle for the Ukrainian capital has gone ballistic. One video released by Ukraine shows badly damaged buildings after a Russian airstrike in a town 85 kilometers from the capital, Kyiv. Civilians rolled up their sleeve and taken to the streets even to prepare road blockades, which means hedgehogs, metal spikes have been planted to block incoming Russian troops. The troops are also headed meanwhile toward the Kharkiv hydroelectric power plant near Kyiv. The Russians, we are being told, have taken control over the city of Skostia in the Luhansk region. The scenes in this city, take a look, is of devastation and destruction. Massive fire seen in many buildings in Hostomel also after a possible Russian airstrike on the city. Meanwhile, the next round of talks between Russia and Ukraine will be held on Monday, where they are once again going to discuss ceasefire and safe passage for civilians while this fire and attacks are on.
Поэтому защищайтесь, иначе она заберет и ваши жизни, и ваши дома. Украина в своих не стреляет. Мы не взрываем жилые дома. И все на Донбассе для нас всегда были и будут украинцами, нашими людьми, нашими гражданами у Донецку.
Now remember, at this point, there are different images consistently coming in from the city. And specifically, it is Kharkiv that has been hit hard. The locals are living in fear. People are leaving their house or forced to leave their house, basically, only to buy essentials. But remember, while they are trying to flee, the risk is also to their life even then. Here's a report coming in from the ground.
I had to call myself a volunteer to the... Did you hear? I don't know whether it's volunteer or to the... Did you hear it? Yeah. Yes. It's a sound before. What is your name?
My name is Irina Beletskaya.
Irina Beletskaya. What do you do here?
Я по-английски не очень.
Huh? What do you do? We prepare some foods, sugar tea, and something for children in this home.
There's 30 minutes to curfew.
So, yeah. 30 minutes for curfew.
So we need to go home and go today.
Now I want to say something to Russian people. I know in Russia there are many people who want to be free. There are many people who want to crush it, that Putin's Kremlin's, and that's all, the Kremlin's regime. Как будет английский режим? Это что будет? Regime. Yeah. Hey, people of Russia. Right now, me and my son, my family, live in Kharkiv, in Ukrainian city called Kharkiv. Ukrainian city, Kharkiv. Ukraine, it's a country. Ukrainian people want to be free. Ukraine is the it's a great groups of people who want to be free. If you want to be free, go to streets, speak to each other, help to each other, destroy the Putin's regime. That's all. It's not strong, it's not different, it's so easy. Smile and victory. Thank you.
And that means with each passing hour, that 64-kilometer long Russian military convoy is moving, inching toward capital city Kyiv. India Today gets you these visuals of the Russian military convoy that is approaching the capital city from all directions. Several Russian tanks are advancing in an attempt to capture the capital city of Ukraine. 64-kilometer long Russian military convoy.
Tanks and trucks as far as the eye can see. This mesmerizing bird's eye view of Russia's giant armored convoy rumbling towards Ukraine's capital has become one of the faces of this escalating conflict. But after 10 days of satellite pictures, finally a view from the ground. Images published by the Russian military show the giant convoy up close for the first time. Carefully curated images, part of a power projection exercise, amidst denials in Kyiv that this convoy has managed to encircle the crucial city.
Somebody said that it is just to distract attention of the Ukrainian armed forces to concentrate on that direction and to open another road. The second version is that Russians are trying to regroup because now they have quite a dispersed forces around Kyiv, and they are trying to regroup to accumulate the forces that they need for the big strike.
In his delusional mind, he does believe so. That wouldn't be true because even if he pretends to, take over Kyiv and claim that this is the new ruler, whatever he would be, that would not change the will of 40 million Ukrainians who are fighting against that right now. But he indeed is trying to encircle the city. Ukrainian army is fighting back. That convoy you are referring to has not been moving for the past 5 days, I think. So they are not having any way to move forward because of the Ukrainian army.
The superior strength of the Russian forces, looking to besiege Ukraine's capital, has snaked down the highway from the north for several days now. Across bitter, snow-blown wilderness, menacing war machines bearing down on a metropolis that must bend if President Putin is to impose his will on Ukraine.
These are the up-close images of the convoy, that Russian convoy that's moving towards the capital, Kiev. In some places, it's extremely close to Kiev. One information that we have received is indicating that a part of that convoy is virtually now on the outskirts of Kiev. The logistics challenge that was being pointed out initially, that seems to have been overcome.
The convoy is populated with battle tanks, armored personnel carriers, and utility trucks carrying troops, rations, and weapons, perhaps for the long haul. While Kyiv city itself hasn't been damaged much in 10 days, the suburbs and outskirts have been pounded by missiles, shells, and rockets for days together. The Hostomel air base to Kyiv's north has also evidently been overrun by Russian forces. With the giant convoy now looking to encircle and besiege Kyiv from three sides, two questions hover above all else. Will Ukraine's capital fall soon? And if it does, will Russia have crossed a red line that brings NATO and the West finally into this war? With Gaurav Sawant in Kyiv and Geeta Mohan in Lviv, Bureau Report, India Today.
11 days are over of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but it appears that Vladimir Putin has his eyes set on capturing the nuclear plants. Ukraine is claiming that the Russian troops have already captured 2 Ukrainian nuclear power plants, but are advancing now toward the third. According to President Volodymyr Zelensky, the Russians have already captured Chernobyl and Zaporizhzhia power plant, which means, according to the Russian media, Kyiv has been actively exploring possibility of the uranium mining and enrichment. And the United States could have possibly supplied Ukraine with plutonium suitable for the nuclear weapon development. Now, according to the sources, Kyiv representatives have initiated dialogue with foreign companies on providing assistance to Ukraine in creating its own uranium enrichment enterprises. So while it is clear that Russia is flexing nuclear muscles now, our executive editor Shiv Arur is explaining how does Russia target the nuclear plants of Ukraine as the claim is now emerging. Take a look at this perspective.
Ukraine basically has 4 active nuclear power facilities and with a total of 15 reactors between them. Now, Chernobyl is inactive, but it is staffed and maintained, so it has people actually working there. That's already been taken over by the Russians. Zaporizhzhia is the biggest gain for Putin. That's in southeastern Ukraine, close to the east. This is where the Russians had shelled a few days ago. There was a cat and mouse, claim, counter-claim. They have it, we have it. But for all practical purposes, the Russians have taken over the Zaporizhzhia power plant, which contains 6 reactors. It's Europe's biggest. Then you've got the Yuzhno-Ukrainsk, which is the South Ukraine nuclear power plant, which has two reactors here. The Russians are apparently approaching. They've already besieged the Mykolaiv city, which is very close to this power plant. So basically, they could control that very soon. So these are the three facilities where they are. Let's show you that Ukraine, where the other facilities are. So Zaporizhia is in Russian hands. South Ukraine will soon be in Russian hands. Khmelnytsky and Rivne are the two other nuclear power facilities which are not in Russian hands just yet. But if Putin is actually looking to take over all the nuclear facilities here, then it is possible that his troops and his forces might try and encircle those two plants. They are in the western part of Ukraine, which is relatively calmer and relatively unscathed in the war so far. So there are 15 nuclear sites, nuclear reactors at 4 different sites. One has already been taken over, the second will be in Russian hands very soon, and 2 continue to be vulnerable.
So definitely there are claims and counterclaims emerging every day as Russian troops continue their offensive in Ukraine on the 11th day now. But Russia has claimed that they have destroyed more than 2,100 military installations of Ukraine, which means including 74 control points and communication centers of the Ukrainian armed forces. 108 S-300 as well as 68 radar stations. Russia has also claimed to destroy 748 tanks and armored vehicles. They have also bombed 5 radar stations and 2 Buk M1 anti-aircraft missile systems. But Ukraine is not far behind. Ukraine is claiming that they've also hit back at Russia. They are claiming they have seized 30 units of Russia equipment, 44 Russian planes, 44 choppers have been shot down off Russia by Ukraine. Its President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that over 10,000 Russian soldiers have been killed till now.
These are numbers that the world is still digesting. The fog of war means that there is not much proof, not much visual or material corroboration of these claims, but in the fog of war, such claims are par for the course between both countries, and they're all extravagant. Ukraine, for instance, claims that it has shot down 44 Russian planes. It claims that it has Russia claims that 90 Ukrainian jets have been shot down. Ukraine claims that 44 Russian helicopters have been shot down. Russia, on the other hand, claims that 748 Ukrainian tanks have been destroyed. Ukraine claims 945 armored vehicles of Russia have been destroyed. Russia, on the other hand, claims 76 Ukrainian rocket launchers have been damaged or destroyed in airstrikes. Ukraine, on the other hand, claims that 10,000 Russian soldiers have been killed. Russia claims that 532 military vehicles belonging to the Ukrainian ground forces have been destroyed. Ukraine claims 269 Russian tanks have been destroyed. Russia claims 274 Ukrainian artillery units have been smashed to pieces. Ukraine claims that 45 Russian multi-rocket launch systems and their units have been, smashed to pieces. Russia claims 2,100 military outposts and infrastructure elements of the Ukrainian forces have also been destroyed.
But it is the fury of Russian hellbird on the key Ukrainian cities. What is the situation on the ground? Videos for 4 Russian aircraft being shot down by Ukraine surfaced, including a Mi-35 chopper and 3 Russian jets. Ukrainian air defense is now claiming that they have shot down 1 Russian drone. Ukraine, meanwhile, shared several visuals, and these are some of them on your screen, taking the pilots of these hellbirds captive even. All aircraft were shot down in and around the capital city of Kyiv. In a few of these videos, as you can see, and this has been shared by Ukraine, Ukrainian armed personnel can be heard interrogating, questioning the captured Russian pilots. Russia continues, meanwhile, to bombard key cities of the country. Videos of a Sukhoi aircraft flying over the skies of Irpin, a suburb of Kyiv, have also now surfaced. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky is claiming that more than 10,000 Russian army troops have been killed in the war till now. But I'll wrap up this bulletin leaving you with these viral images. This is of a team of Russian soldiers who wanted to use the elevator to reach the roof of a Ukrainian office building. But the administration trapped them inside the lift by cutting the electricity and used an industrial camera to take these commemorative photos. That's just one of these many images coming in. Explosions, bombing, shelling, cruise missile attacks. This is what Ukraine, the country, looks like on 11th day of Russia's invasion.